Hey everybody, so let's continue here. This is actually taking longer than I expected, but we should be able to get through these. So then we have another one here. Thank you for this opportunity to ask questions. Does Fred have any thoughts on how we can most widely and accessibly use water on our planet? No, I mean, the problem with that question is it could be meant in a variety of ways. Oh, I see there's a reply to it. To help elevate consciousness. Okay. How can we most widely and accessibly use water on our planet to help elevate consciousness? So two things that he's saying. One, you must make sure you're drinking water. He knows through talking to me. I'm gonna switch and see if I can let him talk through me so it's easier than me, because there's like a block one. I know through talking to Will that there are things that are not water that humans are consuming. I've seen them in the mind and can see the memories of them. This thing in this can, as you call it, sorry, I'm fritzing out because I'm trying to tell him what it's called too, and so I'm just going back because he's trying to pull the word from my. This can, as you call it, soda, pop, Coke, is not water. These bottles are not water that you see in these buildings designed for you to get food and water. They are not water. Water comes from your planet. Water comes from the source of the planet, the oceans, the lakes, the streams. That is water. These things that you're seeing are not energetically water at all. Not water at all. The energy is not water. My cat feeders are going off, so you'll hear those in the background. The energy is not water. The energy is poison. The energy is negative. The energy is not of a highest nature for a body. The energy is this word you call commercial, a concept we don't have here. Because why would you need to sell water? We live in the ocean, we have water everywhere, but even if you live on land, why should you have to buy water? Everyone should have water. It is a basic right of life for all life to have the water that it requires to operate its body. I just don't understand why you have to pay for water. I do not understand this concept. Like, why would that be a necessity of your society? Okay, we're gonna move on. He's like shaking his. I can see him like shaking his head. Like it feels like it's very confusing to him, and I have confusions around it too. Why we do it, and I think we're both picking up on our confusions about it. Simply, he does not understand why we even have this problem. The other thing he said was water is, and he like downloaded this into me real quick. Water is a portal. To elevate consciousness, use it as a portal. Use it as a portal. Meditate in it. Do salt baths. Cleanse yourself. He's saying he doesn't understand this concept of salt baths either. They live in a saltwater ocean, so they don't have to do salt baths, but they also don't have to clear energy because they don't have the stuff that is going on with us. It's one thing I've I try to make sure people know is that we do the salt baths now. The goal is not to have to do them in 20 years. When everybody's vibration lifts and we don't have to, deal with all the negative energy that's around, we won't have to do them as often. We might do them occasionally, but hopefully not as often. Use it as a portal of communication. If you want to communicate with Galactics, one of the easiest ways is to find a portal, and water is a portal that you can submerge yourself in and use it as a portal of communication to reach other physically incarnated Galactics and non-physical beings. If you use that portal and learn how to use it, you will be able to contact Galactics with ease, because most worlds that have physical life have a water base. Most worlds, not all. Yeah, so use the water as a portal, and I've talked about that in other reels and stuff. And the High Priestess 11, Nicole, she does a lot of work with water, but that's how I use it too. It makes it a lot easier in that space to jump your mind to different places to work with Galactics and other beings, angels, fairies, all that type of stuff. Does Fred have a female counterpart? No. I use the pronouns he just because it's natural to me. Fred is more masculine energy, but their kind is I don't really understand this. So more, what was the question? Female counterpart. Okay. I'm just gonna let him talk again. We have masculine and feminine energies. We have masculine and feminine bodies. I am of a more androgynous energy. On the masculine leaning side. We do not have birth in the ways you experience or know of. Or partnerships the ways you experience. We are sovereign and authoritative over our lives, and get to experience life the way we wish without the binds that Will once had and others of you experience. The idea of relationships is also a foreign concept to us in the way humans understand them. We do have divine partnerships. I am not in one. I prefer to be on my own and navigate the oceans. But I do not have a counterpart right now. Okay. So he's showing me images while he's talking. Like, I'm getting like phrases, and then he's showing me all kinds of imagery. First of all, I don't understand how they reproduce. He's trying to explain it, and I'm seeing eggs, and I'm seeing babies, and I'm seeing there's no sexual reproduction. So I'm not sure, because they don't have technology either. and I tried to explain the word hermaphrodite, like if they had both organs or something. It's just not seeming to translate, and it's confusing me because the imagery that he's showing me is kind of confusing. So I'm not quite sure how to answer the question a little bit more on that. But from a female counterpart standpoint, the feeling I'm getting is that they have counterparts, they have partners, but not like humans. I feel he even called me out at one point on that, because I met him when I was in my old relationship. And those relationships are completely foreign to them. Binding yourself to another human is completely foreign to them. It's more of a enhanced experience with a single individual, is what he's telling me. And he prefers not to do that right now. And that was the other thing he was getting at, is he's a more masculine energy, but he kept saying the word androgynous, which means to us means looks masculine or feminine. It can go either way. I think that's what he's trying to get at, is that it goes either way for them. There are some animals, I believe, that do that too, that can like turn it on and turn it off type of thing. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that more. I'm not quite sure I understand what he's saying, or if what I said makes any sense. I don't even remember half of what I've said so far. So if you have questions, let me know. I might actually have to rewatch the videos to understand the answers. Does Fred know if a great cosmic event is approaching? I'm feeling something big, but I'm curious what Fred believes. Thank you to both you and Fred for taking the time to talk to us. So just like he doesn't understand the politics, he doesn't understand these ideas. So let me just try to explain. Okay. So there's a galactic shift that he's aware of. A great galactic shift. Those are the words he's using. Hitting me with a lot of energy right now too when I'm talking about this. A great galactic shift to awaken the consciousness of humans on Earth, so that they can remember their star brothers and sisters, friends and family, cousins, grandmothers and grandfathers, those who came before. A great galactic shift in awakening. Does not understand the complexities of the shift as they will pertain to the physicality of Earth. But there's a great galactic shift, a great vibrational shift coming. And with that can be a lot of great change, good and bad. But there will be a galactic shift, which is why his people are excited, because they will get to experience more galactic beings, because that is their entertainment. Okay. What was the question? Do you know of a great cosmic event? Question. Yeah. So yeah, he's aware. They're aware, but they are not aware of the physical intricacies the way we are. And there's going to be a lot of there's a ramping. We're already seeing it. Things ramp up. There's going to be a ramping, kind of like you're going up a hill, and events are growing and growing for disclosure and for vibrational shifts and all this, until everything gets to the top and then finally flows. We're on the hill right now, building all the events that lead to that awakening. And there's going to be good and bad things that come with it, but the idea is most of the Galactics are aware that there's something happening here. Something happening here, not always sure entirely what, other than other Galactics. For like Fred. Fred is somebody that my Galactic team brought to me to experience and talk to, who do not have technology, who are not fully aware of everything, but are trying to connect to races throughout the galaxy, and are more than willing to communicate and work with people and talk to them, and are interested in sharing who they are and talking to us as well. So hopefully that answered that question. Are you happy? Is your planet special like Earth? I mean, does it have a library of Akashic records? What's your favorite thing to do? Happy, yes. Living in the heart space. So some of this stuff, like I know I don't have to actually ask him because I've talked to him about it. So when I said yes, living in the heart space, that was me just saying that I know the answer already. And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, yes, living in the heart space, and we don't have politics. Is your planet special like Earth? No planet is better than the other. Some planets are more beautiful. Some planets have more wildlife, have more thriving. Some have more oceans, some have more land. Some are very harsh in nature as they grow or collapse through their cycles. But no planet is better than the other. Oh, that's what I was saying. Is your planet special like Earth? No planet, the point is no planet is more special than another. Does not mean it's not designed to be, because I'm asking him about the Earth school thing, because I know that question usually aligns with people asking about Earth being a school. All planets are schools. Earth is a more difficult school. But the idea of a planet being better than the other, being special, is also a way of dividing you from other beings. I don't feel he likes that concept at all, that word. He's like, showing me a bunch of planets, and he's like, you have all these pearls in the ocean. They're all different, they're all beautiful. They all have qualities, special qualities to them. But why pick one and say this one's special when they're all special? They all have love. And if anything, Earth has devolved into chaos. So why would that make it more special than these? Where these beings are thriving, these are not. Okay, we're gonna move, yeah. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain in his heart about that idea of planets being special, of like excluding everything else and then calling out one. Does it have a library of Akashic records? Yeah, so that's a universal thing. That's not a planet, but so I'm actually asking one of my angels, Metatron, how to describe this, because he's the one supposedly responsible for building this. It is an extra dimensional library, because you term it a library. It's an extra dimensional entity of energy that has been built and created to store and house every moment, thought, dream, everything ever experienced across all timelines, realities, existences, so that beings of consciousness can experience it, and the entity produces a consumable way for you to experience that recorded information as a library. That was slow. Usually he comes through faster. I think it's because I'm like going back and forth. So he used the word entity, not like a being, but in a sense it is a being, because it's designed to record everything, but it has the ability to give us information in a consumable way that we can understand it. So some people go to the library and they see different things depending on their level of consciousness and understanding of how to use it, and that's, I believe, what he's trying to say. But it's not a planet-specific thing, is the point. Let's get back to Fred. What's your favorite thing to do? Swimming with the fishes. And I have to laugh at that. I have to laugh at that because I just had to explain it mentally. That when I hear swimming with the fishes, I think of the mafia. Make you swim with the fishes. Okay. How can I be in contact with Fred? He's pointing, use your mind, telepathy, and the portal of water. So this has been coming up from a lot of them lately, and I'm going to explain it here because I'm probably going to do a reel on it too. Don't necessarily try to contact these individuals. They are individuals like you and me, and it's wait for an invitation. They're saying wait. My guides are saying this too. Wait for an invitation to go meet with any of these beings that Will posts and speaks about. You must be invited to really work with them. It's like a stranger walking up to your door, knocking and being like, hello, let's talk. You should have an invitation, and the invitations come through different forms. And they are aware of some of those forms. Spirit art readings, the contact codes that you get through me, activations that you might get through me or others. But purposefully sitting down and trying to connect may not be successful if you are A, not ready to be connected to them consciously, B, not in tune with that type of energy, C, fear, skill, loving heart space. You want to make sure you are in a loving heart space. Connecting with Fred's type of beings requires an open heart for telepathic connection and conscious connection. There are ways to go astrally, but you do not know the codes. They're telling me the codes. I would translate that as coordinates. I'll explain that in a second. What was it? How can I be in contact with Fred? Yeah, Fred's saying use your mind, but there's also emphasis between him and my guides of do not force things. Don't force contact with something. And also wait for an invitation. So like somebody was talking about earlier on about getting all these signs about frogs and turtles. That's an invitation. That's an invitation to speak to whatever one's trying to contact you. And remember, like, this is not one being. Fred is not, this is one being on a planet that has a civilization of these beings. It's not like working with a god. Working with a god that you call on and they work with everybody because they're a large consciousness being. This is an incarnate being on a planet, just like you and me, and 3,000 people going, hey, let me try to contact him. It's like a stranger knocking at the door. And also remembering that you have to be tuned to them, you have to be spiritual protections, have energetic protections if you leave your body to go to these different places. Star maps are the only reason I got to meet a lot of these. Is my guides came to me. My guides all came to me and said, we're going to give you star maps. And I was like, what's that? And they were like, these are maps of safe locations for you to go to. And they are, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, I woke up in the middle of the night with advanced physics translating into my brain, scrolling on the walls, like watching it, scrolling, not understanding enough that I knew it was physics, but no idea what it was. And then they were like, it's the star map download. And after that, I woke up and I have a carousel. I haven't used it in a while, but I had this carousel of planets and I can pick one. And if I go there, I know it's a safe planet. I know it's a safe planet, safe conscious beings, awake beings, no threat to me whatsoever. But in working through that too, I've also realized that if you don't have those, it's kind of like playing Russian roulette, where, hey, let's just go somewhere. And, you don't know where you're going to end up, type of thing. How does Fred feel about humans, and any advice for us to expand more? I think I answered that earlier on. I'm getting a nod from him. Humans, what did you say? Humans are unaware of their potential and their power. And it's time for them to wake up. Advice to expand more. Everything has been said from him. Use your mind. So I'm clarifying this. When he says use your mind, he's not saying use your mind, your physical mind. He's saying use your mind, your spiritual mind, to connect with them, which comes from the heart space. This idea of like radiating telepathy, radiating consciousness, radiating a glow, raising your vibration so that you glow more, and using that to expand. And also to use your mind in daily life to discern what is good for you and what is not. How's our ascension going from your perspective? Feeling into the collective, he's happy so far. And he's showing me he's happy that he's able to talk to people through this channel. The book was the first. They thought the book was the first and last thing. I have my Extraterrestrial book, my first one, experiences with extraterrestrials, Sasquatch, and others. They thought the book would be the first and last thing. They did not think. He did not think that they would be in connection with me right now, talking to multiple people at once. And already, he's saying there are a few people that he'll be reaching out to at some point in time. And I'm not going to say if I know who they are or anything like that, but he's showing me like through this he was able to establish contact with a few people, and there are others in the background waiting for the activations and right moments to connect with others. It's all about timing. They know people want to talk to them, and they want to talk to people. But there is a vibrational timing of the specific individual to be able to do that. And not everybody will be able to communicate with them. Most will be guided to communicate with others through these activations, their team, their divine team. It is about people waking to their divine team. Keep this in mind as you watch these videos that Will creates. It is not about contacting us individually. It is about connecting to those around you, connecting to your divine team, to your galactics, and your galactic awareness. Not necessarily these specific individuals that are being shared through Will or others. We are excited, very, very excited, to talk to more humans. But we must also be approved, in a sense, of what you would call the word gatekeeper. Everybody has gatekeepers, and you must be ready to meet physical beings of other worlds. My guides are saying the same thing. Work with your guides, prepare yourselves, raise your vibration, connect with your divine team first. There is an absolute focus in the word. I'm losing the word as I'm coming in and out. There is a strong focus of attention on learn to communicate with the beings around you first. I know people want to work with ETs. I know people want to talk to Fred and all these other beings. I posted my dragons, and people were like, how do I talk to those dragons? Work with your guides first. Ask them to bring you beings when you're ready, and to bring you those you're ready for, because you will have to do work to work with some of them. And work means if they say sit down every day and meditate every day and stay within yourself and tune to my vibrations, that means you have to do it. I didn't get to this space just by sitting around. I spent a year and a half meditating 4 times a day. And then after that, I continued. That was 2020 is when I really sat down and decided to start connecting with them. So I spent 2020 through, it was longer than a year and a half, so it would have been through the beginning of last year, that I was meditating 4 times a day in a lot of cases, tuning to the vibrations, working on this stuff, because I could, because I haven't had a 3D job in a sense. I had web development freelancing, but I was able to do kind of what I wanted to do, take the time I needed. And so I was able to do that. If you have a 3D job, if you have kids and family, it may take time to build those connections. The energy is here to let it happen faster, but you still have to be willing to put in the work. It's not an act of just doing, setting an intention, being like, I want to meet this person, I want to meet this galactic. Vibration matters a lot. I know some people don't think the vibration matters in the sense of exercise, sunlight as much. Some people stay in their homes. Diet is extremely important to clear those vibrations out. Being hydrated, mental health consumption. If you're going to meet somebody like Fred, or not Fred, there are other beings too, and some that are very loving but very horrifying looking, in a sense. I don't like using that word, but that's the word we would describe them as. It is a mental health issue of having the fortitude to understand what you're doing, to know you're not going crazy, to be willing to continue doing it, and you will be tested. You will be tested, not all the time, but occasionally you will be tested to see if you will continue doing this, because the dark will try to pull you back. So keep that all in mind. It's not something that just, hey, go knock on a door and contact Fred or Pollux or whoever I've posted. It's about working with your divine team and getting them to connect to you, to bring you and ready you for the next steps of communication. Fairies are a different story. Just be clear with that. Fairies are a different story. They're all around us, and it doesn't matter if you're ready or not. They will poke and prod and try to make sure you acknowledge them. But galactics and higher vibrational beings that are off the earth, there's a readiness that needs to be tended to. I think that was it. So I appreciate everyone that posted a question. Thank you very much. Some of those I'm going to reuse for postcards from Spirit. Let me just show you those again. So I have Fred here and Pollux, yeah, or Almond. So Fred and Almond were 2 of them. I have another one that just sent out, and these are physical postcards that each month I send out in the mail. There are channels that are private for only these people, and they go onto the channel and can get more information, more details. I kept calling him Pollux because that's his race name, I guess. But I try to get more details in these too. I try to get planetary information, star information, and more as time goes on. So if you're interested in something like that, you can find it on my website. It's called Postcards from Spirit. It's $10 a month. You get a postcard, and you can ask a bunch of questions. You just email me the questions, and I try to insert them into the channel to get a bunch of information from these beings and see what they have to say about different things. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I love you all. And Fred is also waving in the background of my mind saying thank you. So there's him, and off in the distance he's showing me several others in there. Just want to make sure I get this right. Right. Okay, right hand clockwise. They're doing this. And they're saying, we love you from our hearts. You know, he's also doing like almost a Vulcan. It's almost like his fingers are in a Vulcan kind of way doing that. We love you from our hearts. Thank you, everybody. Love you all.